Each of these green trays has 1,000 earthworms in them. And I'm going to show you how you can start a side hustle the way we did with just a packet of worms. It literally started with just a packet of worms. I bought it for about 350 Rand 6 years ago, and it has some worms in it. And then I built a box using some advertising board that wasn't used anymore. I made this box and then I contained the worms in there. Then I would blend my kitchen waste from my home in my mom's blender, and then I would feed the earthworms like this, and then I would harvest them by hand, and they would produce something called vermicompost, which is like the highest quality compost you can possibly get. And I didn't have any branding or anything. I just got some bags and then I spray painted my logo on them, and I sold the vermicompost. It was quite high demand of that, and our worms grew so well that they ran out of space. So I built this box. It's also recycled material. It's from a pool container or something. And then I would go door to door and collect food waste using this bike and the trailer that I made, because I needed more food for my worms. And then I made this blender that you would put the food waste in, it would shred up the food waste and then fall and feed the worms. It's made from an old lawnmower motor and an old recycled drum. The worms did so well with that feeding routine that I needed more space, so I built this box in my backyard. It's a flow-through worm bin. It's also made from recycled wood, and I filled it with mushroom compost. That was a mistake, by the way, it killed all my worms, but eventually I got it right. And then the worms ran out of space in this. They needed more space to grow, so I put them in ground and I let them spread out a bit more. Of course, they did very well in that setup, so I scaled it up even more in my backyard. I built this in ground, which gave them a bit more space to move around and breed. We reached the capacity of this container, so then we started to optimize the production of the earthworms, and we brought them indoors, and we used any container that we could find, and we drilled holes into them to allow aeration and drainage, and we changed the feeding method, and that worked really well. So then we realized we want to do more like that, but we need to use the space a bit better. So we built these shelves, and we did the worm farming in the trays, and then after a few months they were doing really well, so we built the rest of the trays over here, 3 more columns. After about 6 months, the worms were doing phenomenal in each of the trays. They needed more space, and so we did the other side of the room. And this is just in my father's outbuilding, so it was low cost. And eventually we filled up all of these, and then after about a year since we started this, they were at capacity. There were about 1,000 worms in each tray. We needed more space. So then we rented some land and we built this worm room where we've got now about 300 trays with about 1,000 worms in each of the trays. And we've got a very professional process of how we're producing them, and we're at commercial level of production and sales. But all of this started with just that box of worms. You just need a little bit of worms to get you started. You don't need much else. In fact, you saw how I tried to spend as little money as possible on the worm housing, and that's what I would recommend if you're going to think about business. You're going to need to keep your costs low as possible. Don't worry about what people think or about what it looks like. Just make sure your worms are happy and that you can grow them well. So order your worms from our website now, because we've got a Black Friday sale on in November. And what we're doing differently in this, if you buy from us, is we are adding you to our WhatsApp group where we will support your journey from your first worms to your first income, because it took us 6 years to go through this, and we've learned a lot of lessons that we are ready to share with you to get your business to be successful. So start your side hustle now. Just start with a little bit of earthworms and you'll see how much opportunity there is from there. Good luck.